Hello everyone and welcome to a game I just heard about recently called Lucid9. It is a free VN game on Steam made by Fallen Snow Studios. They followed me on Twitter, so I was checking them out. Turns out they made this game, and I figured, well, it's free, why not give it a decent try. I read some reviews on it real quick before I downloaded it, and they said it was really good. For you definitely get your money's worth if that means anything. Good quality game for free. It's not seen very much these days, so I appreciate that. So yeah, let's start the game. This is gonna be kind of a one-off thing, unless you guys want me to continue the game. If you do, then good, because it depends on how much I like the game, depending on whether I continue it or not. So let's get right into it. I step back and examine my masterpiece. Perfect. My favorite color. I've always loved red. It's different, brilliant, vibrant, unusual. A happy anomaly. Just like me. Red isn't much for nature, really only shows up in autumn, and even then it's a dreary rust or a nauseating cherry. And we can't have that. Not when it deserves so much more. A whispering breeze filters through my thoughts, brushing against my skin with icy fingers. I allow myself a moment to pause, to relish, to admire, to welcome the fresh scent of freedom. This is what I live for. When I open my eyes, I spot a frail leaf dancing upon the backbone of the passing wind, afflicting the world with its appealing shade of asparagus. I pluck it from its branch with its edges of my stained fingernails. Disgusting. How anyone could enjoy this color eludes me. The soft groan redirects my attention to my awaiting masterpiece. It's lovely, really. Spread across the ground, face contorted with fear, twitching, cold fingers clutching at empty air. Not my best work, unfortunately, and the canvas died much quicker than I had originally expected. I assume that means dried. Even when I tried to carve a bit slower. Well, no matter. Today it shall be a palette for my paint. I make quick work of my new palette's chest, ignoring the twitching of post-mortem reflexes from its mutilated kneecaps. Okay, apparently dyed was the correct word for that. The sweet color of red, true crimson, pure scarlet, slinks down its pallid abdomen, looking at the blossoming turf below. I dip my finger into the settling pool of blood. It's warm, sticky, like syrup, or settling gelatin. The sweet scent wafts to my nostrils. Ah, it smells of iron, of rust, of all things sharp and beautiful. Now a new canvas. I check my surroundings, evaluating the surfaces and textures and sizes and shapes of every object in sight. None are quite so satisfactory as human skin with its elasticity, its porous absorption, its innately warm tint. But a substitute is required, so a substitute I must find. Presently, I realize that I'm still holding that eyesore relief in my hand. Well, I suppose it will have to do. In one bold, fluid stroke, I swipe my paint across the leaf, the very essence of Van Gogh himself. Ah, yes, dear Vincent. The man cut off his own ear to send a message when words just did not suffice. I always admired his style. I take a moment to appreciate the leaf's newfound radiance before searching for a proper display. Something like this deserves to be exhibited. I hang my canvas back on its branch. That's better. If only there were more of this color in the world. The unexpected interlude of my phone drives me out of my thoughts. The irritating thing just loves to ruin the climax. Yes. Is it done? You're always in such a rush. Well? Yes, it's done. I was having a moment, which you ruined. And there's more where that came from. You interrupted me. You're the one who wanted to know when it was finished. A thrill leaps through my veins as my lips pull into a tenuous smile. Well, is it? Same time, same place as usual, you know the drill. I nearly clapped my hands, but mastered myself for one final word. Understood. I cut the transmission and eagerly withdraw a small bottle from within my jacket. Only one pill left, but no matter. I'll be getting more soon enough. I popped the final capsule into my mouth, puncturing its skin with my teeth and rolling its bitter gel over my tongue. Now this is life! As a wave of euphoria sweeps through me, I turn from my handiwork, strolling out of the meadow. Today's fun is over. Tomorrow will hold just as many pleasures. Ma Yama Ishimoto? Huh? I sluggishly pull my head upward, fixing my eyes on the woman at the front of the classroom. Are you even listening? I hide an instinctive smirk. Technically, no. I've always found napping more appealing than relearning history that's been drilled into me since age 6. Not that I can actually say that. Now, in all honesty, this teacher doesn't deserve that kind of callous response. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Summarize the whole section we've been reviewing. I glanced at the touchscreen board mounted behind the teacher, quickly scanning over the graphics and topography hovering on its surface. History of Isamu, our glorious metropolis, beginning 2000 AD. Easy. Life was really boring for a while. We weren't in debt, we weren't at war, and we were basically doing nothing interesting. The teacher's lips purse into a thin line as the classroom erupts into snickers. I feel the slightest tinge of regret reign in my sarcasm. Then in 2007, America entered a debt crisis that caused a worldwide financial crash. Japan was one of the countries most affected by this. Well, a second to China, of course. And why might that be? Because we were dumb about who we partnered with? She taps her fingers impatiently on her desk, her eyes narrowing into slits. Well, she asked me to summarize the chapter. She didn't ask me how. Anyway, our glorious government didn't handle the situation so hot, so we had a lovely depression with all-time highs of unemployment and crime. Good effort, gold star. The teacher waves her hand at the classroom with roars with laughter. Right, that's enough. I'll be needing to talk with you after class about your attitude, young man. And other news, grass is green. Elizabeth, perhaps you can salvage this explanation. She gestures a few seats to my right, where my lavender-haired classmate sits her spine as straight as a ruler. I feel a curdle of distaste in my pit of my stomach as I'm lounging against my chair. Of course, Elizabeth Oshiro, class valedictorian, school poster child, and the area's golden girl. Nap time. I settle my head in my arms as Elizabeth leaps to her feet, smiling warmly. Certainly. During this time, Japan fell into chaos. Public demonstrations, often violent, occurred almost every day. Furthermore, political scandals regarding the national government kept spreading. The teacher relaxes as Elizabeth's textbook's recitation. She even shot a quick glance in my direction as if to say, "See, why can't you be like Elizabeth?" Eventually, local political powers became more effective than the centralized administration, hence why Isamu operates as smoothly as it does. Yes, thanks to the mayor's efforts. Perfectly done, Elizabeth. Elizabeth smiles primly and settles back into her seat, fixing her eyes on me with challenging disapproval. I only shrug my shoulders, sending her an easy smirk. Oh, beautiful and brainy. She might be worthy enough to make my list. I glance to my left just in time to catch another classmate, Yahiko Ikari, winking conspicuously at Elizabeth. She clearly ignores him. Well, that's Yahiko for you. I can't remember a day when he hasn't tried to flirt with some girl or another. Nor can I remember a day where he wasn't flat out rejected. Technically, he's my former roommate, which makes him my friend of 2 years. A closer friend? Well, that's up for debate. She managed to deflect my charms. Oh, I wonder how. Me too. No one can resist Yahiko Ikar. Yahiko? Yahiko clamps his mouth shut as the teacher's strident command. She leans heavily against her desk, massaging her temples with her fingers. Alright, class, thanks to Elizabeth. We've seen where we come from. I'm sure you're all wondering what the point of this history recap was. Not really, no. We must study the past to understand the future. As such, it's imperative that the next topic be taken seriously. So, where do you all see yourself 10 years from now? I'm barely able to stifle a snort. It's only, the second day of school? Sure, this is a third-year class. Sure, we're preparing for the college entrance exam. Does that mean we have to know exactly what we want to do for the rest of our lives? The teacher pointedly looks at me, a hard glint in her eye. Yami Ishimoto, perhaps you'd like to get us started. I'm tempted to say no thank you, but that'd be pretty rude. I'll manage my parents' restaurant, I guess. The teacher's lips tighten ever so slightly. I know what she's thinking. No passion, no ambition. He will be a failure, this one. It'll pay the bills. What more can I ask for? Really, dude? Out of anything you could have picked, you picked a restaurant manager? Well, what would you suggest? I had a bunch more, dude, like women and cars. And he criticized me for my lack of imagination. Come on, it's 10 years. Anything could happen. The teacher shoots him a disapproving glance as his voice raises dramatically in volume. Yahiko, thank you for volunteering. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Yahiko beams, and I feel a sudden sense of dread. Here goes his dream, the one that I've heard no less than 200 times before. Well, teach. I see myself with a Ferrari F500 under one arm, a Lamborghini Aventador 704 under the other, and a lot of beautiful women in between, fighting for the honorable privilege of bearing my children. The class stares at him. Glad I'm having some fun. I whisper to him. What about the mansion? Right. Take all that and put him in front of a 20,000 square foot mansion attended by a staff of 1,000 maids. Well, that's a lot of maids. And where is it located? Oh, it's in the Caribbean on an island. A man-made island specifically constructed just for me with my name laser engraved into the hills, so that every plane that flies by sees that it belongs to. That's quite enough, Yahiko. Thank you for your, input. Clearly, she doesn't believe in his dream. Actually, I don't think anyone except Yahiko believes in his dream. Funny enough. Then again, Yahiko has enough belief to make up for everyone else. Now, Yumiko, what about you? As the rest of our classmates drone on about joining some kind of mega corporation like Loudness Skate or Way Forward Pharmaceuticals, I lean closer to Yahiko. You forgot some things. I did? The yacht, the walk-in closet just for designer shoes, the private jet, a second mansion in Tahiti? Oh crap, I did. Hey, teach! Fortunately for the teacher, the school bell rings just before he can grab her attention. My classmates immediately shove their belongings into their bag and bolt for the door. Meanwhile, Yahiko heads straight for the teacher's desk, eyes lit with excitement as he gabbers on and on about his yacht and designer shoes and his private jet and a second mansion in Tahiti. A restaurant manager, huh? Oh. And then there was Elizabeth. Slipping into Yahiko's now vacant seat, she shifts her backpack's weight to the desk and raises a patronizing eyebrow at me. Well, sorry for being realistic, Miss CEO of a megacorp. Sorry that I actually have ambition, Mr. Manager of the family restaurant. What? Should I have talked about having a mansion and cars and maids on my own personal island? You didn't even shoot for a restaurant not owned by your parents. They'll kick the bucket one day. I might as well be the one to take over. Have some respect, would you? I snicker at that. Respect? Me? Really? I flash her a bright, overly friendly smile. See you around, Lizzie. She fumes, but forces herself to take a deep breath until her expression stilts. Unfortunately. That's a pretty nice comeback. I'll give her that much. Beth's still up for lunch. A student slides through the door with a warm smile and a wave. I recognize her as a girl who's always with Elizabeth. Don't know much else about her. In the blink of an eye, Elizabeth's face softens into a friendly grin. I'll be right there. Yep. Just in case it wasn't clear enough that her hate is directed exclusively at me, she is the queen of angels to everyone else. Particularly this girl, who I guess is the closest thing she has to a friend. Well, Ishimoto, it's been a pleasure. I bet it has. She lifts her chin and stiffly walks out the room, nearly bumping into a startled Ihiko on the way out. As a train of second years, probably her groupies, pull her away, Ihiko slips next to me. Why does she talk to you? Not to me, the great hero, Hikari. Keep messing up his name. Maybe that's because there's a limit to how many brain cells she's willing to sacrifice for conversation. Huh. Beats me, she's been doing that for a while. Really? We were in the same class last year. Really? I'm not surprised that he just learned about this. Then again, to be fair, I don't talk to Ikiro much about my personal life. Yeah, I mean, something like that. I mean, it's not important. Ihiko evaluates me for a second with an unusually stoic expression, but quickly shakes it off, his face melting into a grin. So, what'd you think about my dream earlier? Well, this again. On second thought, maybe we should have kept talking about Elizabeth. The same as the other 200 times you've told me. It hasn't been 200. Has it really? 203 to be exact. Huh? So that means you think it's amazing, right? Totally, I think it's the best dream in history. And it's so original and realistic. Thanks, dude. You know, but I don't think you're aiming high enough. Huh? What should I add? Aim for the moon. He gasps, as if it's the best idea ever. The poor soul. Forget Tahiti, a mansion. On the moon. You'd be the first. And probably the last. Just think about all the possibilities. No one's even set foot on the moon. Imagine how famous I'll be if I build a mansion there. No one's even set foot. Seriously? Either I stepped into the conversation at the wrong time, or someone just came up with a really stupid idea. Enter Ryo Hayata, my friend of 10 years. Okay, technically she's a grade lower than me, but that doesn't stop us from hanging out. She's stuck with me through thick and thin. She probably knows me better than I know myself. Beside her stands Masato Kurogane, hearty in both build and personality. If I had to describe him in one word, I would use fire. Easily antagonized, hard to put out, and blazes every obstacle out of his way. Afternoon, little daisies, what's going on here? I want to build a vacation home on the moon. Somehow I can't say I'm surprised. I know, right? I'm brilliant. Think, the first man on the moon, and the first man to build a mansion on it. Oh, you're so bright, you're blinding me. What have you been telling him? That's a giant leap from him as a small step for mankind. Just to think about that for a moment, but I'm rewarded with a smirk. Clever. I know. Look, if you kids are done yapping, Yama and I got head to track. What? I didn't think Yama was joining again this year. Of course he is. This is news to me. It doesn't sound like a good idea, considering he only went to one practice last year and ditched the rest. Well, he ain't ditching this year. Ain't that right, man? Well, now that you mention it. What's that? You guys didn't even win last year, Masato. No need to make a big deal. Masato's eyes flare with the instinctual need to prove his worthiness of track. We're winning this year. I got a secret weapon. Really? Masato's eye lights up at Ryu's apparent interest. See, we lost last year because we didn't have good names. This year I've got a great one. He pauses for dramatic effect. Marvelous Masa. Well, at the very least, this is a pretty good opportunity to joke around. Wow, it's fantastic! Okay, and I'll call myself Speed of Light Mountain Destroyer. The hell? You should rename yourself the Streaking Shadow Dark Eradicator. Then we'll be unstoppable. I know where I'm going with that. Yeah, he isn't great with sarcasm. I smirk at him, but before I can elaborate, the PA above us crackles to life. The club fair is officially open in the courtyard. Feel free to drop by and check out some of what your fellow students have planned. Already, just the second day. Maybe the school is making just everything happen faster this year. I don't really see why. Isamu Imperial Boarding Academy has always done well for itself, even throughout the recession. There's no need to change things now. Hey, it's club time. Let's take a look. No thanks. I'd rather not be blacklisted. What does that mean? It means she's afraid to go with you. You outshine her so much the other clubs won't be interested in her. Ooh! Ryu glares at me. I only wink back. Well, you shouldn't worry about that, my dear Rui. I'm sure I can use my substantial sphere of influence to get you a good spot. I'm already in a club, you know, drama club. Oh, right. She's been in the drama club since last year, and somehow he's still forgotten. Then what was Yama talking about? Nothing, just acting like an idiot as usual. Well, you know what they say, like attracts like. Oh. Rui elbows me sharply in the ribs, but her lips are pulling up at the corners. They also say opposites attract. Yeah, we know which one you are. She slaps me playfully in the arm as Masato and Yahiko watch with blank stares. Did I just miss something? No more than you usually do. Yahiko frowns for a moment, but eventually shrugs the exchange off. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need to find myself a club to grace with my innumerable talents. Yeah, they're innumerable, alright. Zero's innumerable. So without further ado, I bid thee farewell. He turns with a flourish of his hand, but Ryu calls after him. You know we'll be there, right? Huh? Club recruitment day, all the clubs will be here, including track and drama. Oh, well, I'll see you there. He whisks out of the room. You're coming to the man at the track booth, yeah? Me? Like I'm the track poster's child. In fact, I'd probably just scare away potential recruits. Don't think like that. You could be a great asset, man. You just gotta believe. Okay, every movie theme ever. We exchange Snickers, but Masato grabs my arm. Really, man? You coming? Surprised by his sudden intensity, I contemplate it for a moment. It doesn't take long. Yeah, sure, why not? Really? Oh, not like I have anything else to do, really. Masato grins, releasing my arm. Good, I gotta go sit up, but I'm expecting you there. Alright, see you there. He dashes out of the room after a quick wave to Rui. She smiles back and promptly turns to me. Have you figured out why he wants you in the track so badly? I don't have a clue. She hesitates for a moment and glances around the room. You know, you could join drama club instead. Could be a valid excuse for Masato. I think he just asked why I joined a different club when I could have joined track. Still, I think he'd really like it. Honestly, it sounds like it could be pretty fun. Rui seems to enjoy it. She often claims that it's just like when we played make-believe as kids. Make-believe is one of the few things that I don't mind doing. But it's so much work. I'm not working track, idiot. Besides, it could be really fun. I'll take your word for it. She rolls her eyes and shoulders her bag. Well, fine, Mr. Grumpy Pants. Some of us have club booths to manage, so I'm going to get going. I'll go with you. We walk in step to the door, almost into freedom, and then the strident voice of the teacher rips through the air. Ahem, Yahama Ishimoto. Surely you didn't expect to escape so easily. Yes, my attitude problems. I turn to Rui, suddenly pleading, bail me out. Not a chance. What? What, it builds character. I have plenty of character. Come on, throw up a distraction for me. I throw in a shameless dose of papillon. She only pokes my forehead, sticking her tongue out. You win some, you lose some. Just be glad it's with the teacher instead of the police. She darts off as I call, faltering after her. But at least the police won't bore me to tears. What was that, young man? I turn to find the teacher hovering right behind me. Whoops. Nothing great weather we're having, huh? She doesn't seem amused at this point. At what point? It's the second day of school, unless she's referring to teaching me last year. You know, come to think of it, yeah, that's highly possible. It's clear the detention is doing nothing for your toxic behavior. Well, yeah, because I can nap in detention. Therefore, I've taken the liberty of recommending you for a therapeutic mentorship, which will take place on campus at the discretion of our dorm manager. Requirements will be 1 hour, 5 days a week. The mentor will need to sign off on every visit. The what now? Are you scheduling brainwashing sessions for me? Excuse me? You might have other ideas, young man, but civility and respect are integral cornerstones of our modern society. If it does result in scrubbing away some of the arrogance of yours, then I say good riddance. I'm shocked by this unusually passionate outburst from her. She slows her breath, shaking as she jabs a book and an envelope at me. Take this to Mr. Ryota's office. You know where it is. A tiny pinch of the tension releases. Mr. Ryota, the mentor? Maybe this won't be so bad. I give the book a once-over. The cover is somber and 100% boring. Block letters proclaim primates for the 21st century, 100 plus. Correctional techniques to improve the mindset of an underdeveloped adolescent. Oh well, gee, I'm honored. Take it. I take it. Goodbye, Yamashimoto. She finds us out of the classroom, clearly fed up with my shenanigans. Farva, what's the restaurant with all the goofy shit on the walls? You mean shenanigans? Wordlessly, I turn and head down the corridor. Guess someone's a little touchy. Not that I can blame her. If I had a student like me, I'd hate him too. I tromp down the stairs to the first floor and stop before a door at the edge of the hallway, bearing the sign J. Ryota, door manager. I rap sharply on the wood 3 times. Mr. Ryota? What is it? Nuclear war? What? No. Don't feel like opening the door for anything less important. I could open the door myself. Locked it. Don't bother. I press my ear against the door, listening keenly. There it is, action-packed orchestral strings, just barely bleeding through the wood, faint clanging of swords on shields. Are you in a clan war, Mr. Ryota? A moment later, and the door lock clicks open. I slip inside the room, holding back a smile. The office is minimalistic in its furnishings, but fairly welcoming. Warm light encompasses the rooms, highlighting the comfortable chairs arranged around a coffee table that bears a bowl of potato chips. Looks more like the office of a therapist rather than the office of a school dorm manager. In the corner, I spot a comely mahogany desk, on top of which sits Jiro Ryota in a very dramatic position. Welcome to the sad room. Have you brought an offering to appease the Dark Lord? Indeed I have. With an equally exaggerated bow, I presented the book and note from my teacher. Mr. Ryota's eyes scrunch in confusion. The hell is this? I kind of got in trouble earlier for talking back. And instead of the tension, the teacher's convinced that I need a more permanent solution. Like death? I can help you with that. Yeah, she was thinking more along the lines of counseling, I believe. Oh, okay. But what the hell is this? He shakes the book emphatically. And the curriculum that the teacher recommends for, helping me. Alright, well, I'll put it where it belongs. He promptly throws them in the trash, which extracts a laugh from me. Now to business. Let me read up on what exactly your teacher wants. His eyes drift over the paper that I silently hand to him. Ha! Oh boy, isn't this precious? Let me translate. Dear Mr. Yoda, I'm having trouble subduing a boy who actually has a brain that doesn't care for the inefficiencies of bureaucracy. Sincerely, a woman who is most certainly the most boring person in her graduating class. I choke back laughter as he crumples the paper into a ball and lobs it into the trash. By the way, don't tell anyone I said that, or I might get fired. And then you'd have to take counseling from Mrs. Hanazawa. And then where would we be? Considering the NDA signed, Mr. Ryota reclines easily against his chair, kicking his legs on the table. So, how's the apartment? Still in one piece, mostly. Good to hear. And Phil? Phil? No little houseplant. You know, the one I placed on your shelf. Your memory sucks more than mine, kid. Oh, right. I vaguely remember Mr. Yoda forming an odd attachment to a plant when I'd moved into my apartment, even to the point where he named him Phil. I think he died. That's a bit odd. I thought he was a fake plant. Nope, looked fake on the outside, I guess, but all real inside. A satisfied smile pulls at Mr. Yoda's lips, and I suddenly realize the metaphor. We're not talking about plants, are we? Your optimism is inspiring, kid. I would have thought your answer to be the contrary. What, people looked real on the outside, but they're all fake inside? Something like that. We were talking about plants. How was I supposed to know? Well, you know now. So now that you know, is your answer the same? No. Didn't even you think about it? It's the truth. People pretend to be genuine on the outside, but inside they're nothing. Mr. Ryota evaluates me for a moment, but to my surprise, there's no judging in his gaze. You must be a real party pleaser. I'll be here all week. What made you draw such a depressing conclusion? I can tell in my mind he's on the fast track of psychoanalysis, childhood trauma, clinical depression, suicidal tendencies. I'll time to put that to rest, because if anything should be blamed, it should be 100% natural disdain for humanity. Power of observation, if anything. People like to be strong, confident, independent on the outside. Peel that away, and what do you get? Their heart? Well, then that heart must be pretty pathetic. Did I ever say otherwise? No, I guess he didn't. Mr. Yoda eases from the topic and leans back on his chair, drawing a planer from his drawer. Well, if it were up to me, I'd say that you're just like any other surly teenager going through the first throes of senioritis. But paperwork's been signed, and you know how bureaucracy goes. I thought our government was supposed to be more efficient since the national changes. Ha! You assume the mayor actually does anything important. He scrolls something down on his tablet and taps the screen. My phone buzzes gently in my pocket. Your teacher recommends that we meet every day, but honestly, who has the time for that? We'll just play it by ear, and you let me know if you ever get the urge to murder someone. Probably means you're due for another checkup. I check what he sent me. A copy of the spreadsheet that's taped outside his door, revealing his available times. Wow, how do you have this much free time? Life as a door manager's just swell, isn't it? Well, I thought you at least had some kind of, job. I'll let you in on a little secret, kid. The kids here don't cause much trouble. Not because they're angels, not because they're boring, but because they're too prissy. They don't want to get their manicured nails dirty with things like graffiti or booze. But they need someone to cry to when they stub a toe, and the other teachers seem to think that I fit that job description. Actually, it's more likely that they don't want to deal with hormonal brats. So instead of being a helicopter parent, I get to be a bench warmer who just nods and smiles once every few minutes. Like with me. Well, you'll be more interesting than the rest of them, I hope. Yeah, that sounds like an academy in a nutshell. Half the people are too snobby to be fun, and the other half too lazy to care. What do you get to hear? Whining about grades, toxic relationships? Sometimes, but not always. At any rate, I can't exactly complain. Makes my job easy. Well, thank you for your massive contribution to society, sir. You're absolutely welcome. They seem equal to yours. Oh. I snort. He chuckles. Yeah, this could have been really painful if I hadn't got Mr. Ryota. Well, as your loving, caring, and awe-inspiring mentor, I can hardly keep you from the beauty that is Club Recruitment Day. Oh, no, I'm fine, really. Off you go. Take a selfie and send it to me. Or I'll schedule an appointment tomorrow. But that... You said... You need to expand your opportunities, broaden your horizons, go where no man has gone before. But... And most importantly, you need to get out of my office so I can check my clan. That's just sad, Mr. Yoda. World domination calls, my boy. See ya. And without another word, he shoved me out and slammed the door in my face. I think with that, I'm going to end the video here and let you all take a look on the Lucid9. So you can check it out for yourselves on Steam. Won't cost anything except for your time. If your time is not important to you or you just want to play this game, then feel free and have some fun. I'll see you guys later.